I could really use a change of scenery. Yeah. Everybody smoking all the greenery. Yeah. Clothes to match 'cause they were handed down to me. But I'm still fly, I know.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Onyx here, going full nerd. And check this out. I was able to see the New Mutants film. A film that was supposed to be released a couple of years ago during the X-Men Fox Universe series of movies. Now, we all know what happened to Fox. They got acquired by Disney. They shuttered the doors. They changed the studios. They did all this stuff. So now the Merry Mutants of Marvel are back with Marvel Studios, and they're going to figure out how to do that. And, you know, Kevin Feige said 4 to 5 years, and that was like over a year ago. So anyway, the New Mutants movie was met with pushbacks, reshoots, and generally negative publicity ahead of its release. I mean, I thought this movie really would not see the light of day. I thought it would be more like, what was that, Frank Corman's, the very first Fantastic Four movie that we used to watch, you know, on VHS, bootlegs, you know, because it never made it to theaters. And, you know, this was during the old school comic convention scene and all that good stuff. So now fast forward. New Mutants, it finally hits theaters during the COVID-19 pandemic. And boom! I want to know who at Disney/Marvel wanted this movie to fail so badly. So let's take a good look at the good and the bad of the film and try to figure out what went wrong. What went horribly wrong. So here's the deal. This is the good. The whole premise of the film was a good idea, even if it wasn't completely true to form to the New Mutant comic book origins. I mean, in the comic books, Professor X found a whole different group of mutants. Cannonball, Sunspot, Mirage, a.k.a. Danny, a.k.a. Moonstone, a.k.a. the Valkyrie, whatever they want to call it, Karma, and Wolfsbane. Now, the movie, it takes liberties by using some of the more popular characters from later in the series, basically replacing Karma with Magic. You know, if for those who are not familiar with the comic, that's Colossus, the big metal guy. That's his little sister. And they adapted a very good storyline, actually an iconic storyline from the comic book's original run, the Demon Bear Saga, drawn by Bill Sienkiewicz. Real nice, okay? Now, here's the only thing that I thought was good. The actress that played Magic, that played Ilyana Rasputin. Okay, I said that real good. Dang. But anyway, she looked the part. Okay? Notice what I'm saying, folks. She looked like the comic book character. That's where the good of this movie ended for me. That was it. It was done. It was done. I saw her. I was like, oh, spot on. Look. Everything else, trash. But anyway, let's go, boy. We're going to go into the bad. So sit back and get your popcorn, folks. I might be here a while. So the whole origin or story of the team is wrong. But who was surprised? You know, this was going to happen because Fox, you know, this is a movie studio that killed off a guy whose power is literally not to get killed, a.k.a. Darwin, the black guy from X-Men First Class. I'm just saying. So these are the guys that approved this script, all right? Somehow, they could not figure out how to get character dynamics correct, all right? So let's take Ilyana. Let's take Magic. They had her as 100% an asshole. It is what it is. Now, Ilyana may be about 50% asshole, but not 100% asshole. I don't ever remember her being that cocky until later comics. Okay. Ew. I mean, and there's so much dynamics into making it where she became that cocky. If you're going to do the story from the Demon Bear story perspective, you know, she was a little more friendly back then, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, comic book heads. Let me know. Second, Lockheed the Dragon was a hand puppet. Here's the thing. That could be partially good, partially bad. Lockheed originally started off in the comic books as a made-up character in a fairy tale that Kitty Pryde, a.k.a. Sprite, a.k.a. Shadowcat, a.k.a. Ariel. You like how X-Men change their names all the time. Made up in a bedtime story that was read to Ilyana as a child. Okay? But he's a hand puppet in the movie. Oh, and by the way, he came alive as a result of her powers. Not because of a secret war and finding them on an alien planet, or not because of the alien brood of it. All the stuff that made the comic book really, really interesting. You feeling me? So, okay, let's move on. Let's take Roberto da Costa, a.k.a. Sunspot. He was rich. That's correct. Good. And he had originally some issues controlling his powers. Okay, they got a little bit of that. Check. But the comic book version was a victim of racism because of his skin color. In the very first appearance in the New Mutants graphic novel, he was getting wore out playing soccer, and they was hurling all sorts of racial epithets, for Brazilians, dark-skinned Brazilians. And they replace him with this light-skinned Hispanic dude. Or at least y'all kept it a Hispanic dude. But come on, man. Source material be damned, But it's okay. Fox just does what they gonna do. It is what it is. You can't blame this on Disney. Disney's just trying to recoup some money. But Fox did what they do. Fox had a real good Sunspot in X-Men Days of Future Past. Dude looked the part. Special effects was on tight. So, you know what we're going to do at Fox? Fox executives, just get some other dude. They won't notice. One Spanish dude looks like another Spanish dude. Right? They just said screw it for the New Mutants, and you guys won't remember it, so we're going to cast the guy a few shades lighter. Don't worry about it. Now, here's the thing. They also took Dr. Celia Reyes, who ended up being she was a good guy. Worked for the Xavier Institute. She was an ER nurse. She was all that good stuff, right? Who was a friend to the X-Men, all right? Now, she's the bad guy, an antagonist, working for Essex Corp, which is Mr. Sinister. We all know that from the comic books. Moviegoers, you casual fans, you don't know this. It is what it is. Now, lastly, they added an unnecessary relationship between Bane and Moonstar. Between Rain or Ryan, depending on your comic upbringing, and Danny Moonstar with, they didn't have to have a romantic relationship. The thing is, it is an offshoot of Danny's power to have empathic connection with animals. All right. Since Bane did have, the ability to turn into a wolf. Then the other part is, it seems real crazy because Bane was persecuted, because of her heavy religious beliefs. And just to have that, same sex relationship, it felt like it was forced into the movie. It wasn't organic. You know what I mean? It wasn't something that, this was part of the character history. Let's make this happen. No, we're going to force this in here because we want to get everybody money. We want everybody to feel included, except for the dark-skinned cats. We ain't got to worry about that. But you see what I'm saying? It's like, what was the director thinking? What was the producer thinking? What was the writer thinking? All right. So I'm going to just throw it out there. Honestly, this movie was DOA, dead on arrival, once we knew the X-Men were going to be under Marvel Cinematic Universe control. This movie should have been straight to streaming or on Blu-ray DVD or maybe late night on Cinemax. Do they even still have Cinemax or whatever? Okay. Now, this movie really, it just continued to identify the shortcomings of the production team and the greenlighting team at Fox, who were making these movies just to make a buck to keep the X-Men rights. Now, some will say Disney did the same, all right, by releasing it to theaters during the pandemic. But honestly, I think this was their way of giving the parting screw you to all those involved in the Fox deal and all those in Fox related to the X-Men movies, because, you know, Marvel as a whole, comic book company, they just started writing mutants off because of that bad deal they did with Fox. I mean, Fox really screwed the pooch. I mean, after they made the 90s X-Men cartoon, they said, you know what, we got 100% rights on this. We could do what the F we want and just screw source material. I mean, it was to the point that even Marvel stopped making new X-Men, stopped making new mutants because of the way the deal was written. Fox had control of any mutant storyline. So basically, that's why we have some of the crappiest X-Men comics in the past few years. And now, slowly but surely, it's getting better. So, what does New Mutants get on the going full nerd scale? It gets a 2 out of 5. Because I really like the way Magic looked. They got a whole point, you know, a whole 1 point from the fact that old girl looked like Magic. I don't care about that. And the soul sword and the armor on part of the bike. Yo, I digged it. The teleport, I dig that part. So that's how it's got its rating. You know, the special effects on Magic was on point. Lockheed popping up on point. But you can see all that in the trailer. You don't need to see that in the movie. The rest of the film felt like that scene from Deadpool when they said, wait a minute, what's the matter? You can't afford any other X-Men? So that's just the overall synopsis of the film. It made $7 million in its opening weekend. You know, that tells you right now Disney was like, screw it, throw it out there, somebody will watch it. And it also shows that everybody that was screaming, oh, the X-Men Fox universe wasn't that bad, I guess it wasn't good enough for you to go out in the pandemic to watch this trash. Anyway, this is your boy Onyx at Going Full Nerd. Remember, please like, share, subscribe, and remember to check out the podcast on iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, and its home, Anchor.fm, and obviously hit like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube.com/GoingFullNerd. Peace, y'all, and I'm out of here.
Say it with your chest now, say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take